been through these before, so it's nothing new.
Were you afraid the sun wouldn't come up?
Oh, it always comes up. When you go to bed, sometimes you don't know for sure, but it always does. At least it has for the last 40 years of me doing this.
Did you get to eat your lunch first before today?
No, but that's okay. I'm a little earlier today, I think. All right.
Questions for Coach Billings?
Questions?
Talked with Coach Hop, but ULM's quarterback gave you guys a little bit of trouble with the scrambling and whatnot. How are you guys going to look to contain Zach Thomas this week?
Well, hopefully better than we did Evans' kid, that was a concern of ours. We knew he's a really good player, and we thought we could try to contain him. We did some different things, and we just didn't get it. We didn't get it accomplished. And he made some plays on us when he shouldn't have. Obviously, he's a really good quarterback. You got to give him credit, and he's a great scrambler. And we're going to go on the same game plan with Zach. Same thing. Hopefully, we'll just execute it better than we did Saturday.
Not to give away the game plan, but what sorts of things do you want to see done better?
Well, first of all, is we gave up too many big plays. I was disappointed in that, and that's one of our big goals. Our goals are all, some of them as a defense are not concrete. Obviously, we want to. Our number one goal is to win the game, and we want to eliminate big plays, and that's when you're successful in defense. You eliminate big plays. We gave up 2 big plays and ended up being too many, and some days you can get away with that. Just like our goal every week is the perfect scenario is not to let the other team score, and but on our goal board we don't have hold them to so many points. Our goal is some days 30 points is good enough, and some days 21 points is good enough. But we had we had to keep them under 19 to win the ball game. We didn't get it done, so you always got those variables, but. Game plan is just do what we do. We got to eliminate big plays. We got to get more takebacks than we did last week. That's another goal of ours. We got to have one more than the offense gives away. So we don't know what that goal is either. But we got to create takebacks. We need to fly around to the ball a little bit more. We missed a lot of tackles, and we played aggressive at times, but I don't feel like we played consistently hard enough every snap. We didn't fly around quite as much as I felt like as we did against Jackson State.
What do you attribute the missed tackles to? Is it that they're not flying around, or is there something?
That's part of it. We're going to obviously do a better job of working on tackling this week, and like the big play. They do a great job. We got a guy. I talk to you about it all the time. We got a guy out of the gap, and if our secondary guy tackles a guy, it's a 7-yard gain, and that's why again in the back end you can't miss. You make a mistake, Our defensive line overall did a pretty decent job during the game, but the guy got out of the gap. We had to have twice during the game. One time he made 7 yards. We tapped him in the secondary, he made 7 yards. The next time he got out of the gap, he made 8 because we didn't make the tackle. So, and especially being a secondary coach, that's what we got to do. We got to eliminate those big plays, and it has to do with tackling and eyes, and obviously on the pass. The green kid, he did a great job. He can run. We didn't do it. We didn't execute well, and again, 2 big plays. That's what we got to stop.
Coach, you guys have some good numbers up front on the defensive line. How many guys are you guys throughout the game comfortable with rotating in and out throughout the course of the game?
We've been 5 consistently, but we got some other guys coming. I think that's fixing to start to 6 or 7. That's where we want to get to. We feel like we have 7 guys that should be ready to play for us, and there's a couple of guys that we need to get in the game more. We feel like they're getting better every day, but anywhere from 5 to 7 on the front, you've got to do that to be really good on defense. You got to keep those guys fresh and let them run to the football.
Coach said Sangster was the player of the week this week. What did you see him do well defensively?
I tell you what, I saw him do well all week long. When he was not in class, he's up watching film, and so he knew what they were going to run before they ran it, and he was in the right gaps. And he played physical stuff, but the biggest thing with him, he mentally prepared himself for that football game, and that was impressive to watch. You know, he was up here for hours. Every time I walked around, there he was in the room, you know, asking a question, or Coach, what about this? So you could tell he was ready to play at the game, but he had prepared himself during the week. And I tell our guys, it's not about Saturdays, it's between Saturdays. What do you do from Sunday to Friday? You know, between Saturdays is when you win the football game. It's not on Saturday. And just like I always tell our guys, you never, you know, everybody says, let's get hyped. You know, it's game day. Let's get up. Let's get pumped. And I said, you don't rise to the occasion. You sink to your preparation. And that's what he did. He was prepared and he played well. And that's what we got to do. We got to have more people preparing that way, that when the lights do come on, that we sink to our preparation, and then that's where our performance will be.
2 weeks into it, how do you feel about that linebacker rotation? I know there was a lot of moving pieces in
There's
camp.
still a lot of moving pieces
Yeah.
there. You know, we got some good players, and it's so funny, you know, one game, a couple of them played better than they played the second week, and vice versa. And so we're going to keep rotating them. You know, competition's a great thing. Makes them work hard because they want to play. And so the good thing is, I've been in situations where it didn't matter how well they played; those had to be your players because that's the only two you had. You know, so that's a great situation. It's a great situation that we can roll 5 to 7 defensive linemen. It's a great situation that we got linebacker rotation, but we don't know who's going to play because they're going to compete, and we got options, and which is a positive thing.
Is it a issue maybe at linebacker if you have somebody to rotate in and nobody really gets comfortable maybe in the ebb and flow of the game at that point?
Well, you know, I think that's maybe more for a quarterback than a linebacker. I mean, he's got his keys. That's what he reads, and I like defensive guys fresh. You know, as long as they're running, because you know, as a defensive guy, you run to the ball a lot. You run every snap. You know, those linemen, they take a few steps and they're done. But as a defense, you got to chase the ball every snap. And so when you got guys that can play, I like to keep them in there, keep them fresh.
How many corners at this point do you feel belong in the rotation?
We've got 3 that are really in the rotation right now, and a couple other ones are trying to work their way in. But you know, there's 3 that we're comfortable with. And,
What do you want to see those guys improve at?
everything.
Yeah.
You know, being better tackling, covering better. I mean, you know, that's a tough position out there. You know, you're a one-on-one guy, and you're going against their best player usually. And they know the snap count. They know where they're going, and you got to react to what they're doing. You know, whether it's run or pass. And so that's why they pay those guys in the NFL, those corners, a lot of money, because you got to have a special talent to play out there, and you got to have a special mindset too, because you're going to get beat every once in a while, and you got to let it go and get ready for the next one. You got to learn from it, but then you got to let it go and play again. So it takes a special guy out there.
What do you see from the Appalachian State offense?
They're really, really, really good. They're well-coached football. That's a great program. I've known Appy for a long time. I was at Marshall back in the 90s, and you know, it was like, and we were at Marshall, we were really good, and we just kind of hang out and eat ice cream and stuff until on a lot of those games we felt like we knew we had a chance to win. And all of a sudden, Appy State came up. It was a different story. You know, so it's Appy State this week. But they got a great program. They do a great job there. They're well coached. You know, that's been an outfit that's been together for a long time, and they have a great system. They do a really, really good job. And they're offensively, they come off football. They're well coached. The quarterback's smart. They got good players.
They run or pass more?
Yeah, they do both. Believe it or not, you know, they're built off the run. That's what they do, and then they play action pass you, and the quarterback. The young quarterback's got a great arm. He's really, really good thrower. You know, Bobby Lamb's son was there last year. I've known Bobby for a long time. He's at Furman. His son was a good he could really throw the ball. He's a really good quarterback. He started on for like 3 or 4 years, but he ran a lot of option too. This kid's probably a little bit more of a passer, even though he can run the football, and they'll probably run the option some on us, I'm sure. But he's been in the system. He's a redshirt sophomore, so he's been in the system. This is his third year, so he understands their system. He's, you know, he scored 38 points on Penn State. He did it. They did a lot of it throwing football, and you know, Penn State's got some ball players. So they got a couple of receivers that are really good athletes that have done a great job catching football. So that's where they give you an issue. I mean, they can run it and throw it. And so this is the first true team, even though, you know, Monroe was more of an RPO team, and they hit us on a couple passes, but this is the first team I feel like that are very good in both throwing the ball and running the football.
How did you react watching that Penn State tape?
You know, just got to watch it, and I really don't analyze it. You know, I know it's Penn State, but we just analyze what they're doing and watch their kids and try to figure out. You know, it's all X's and O's and game planning. You know, and it makes you think when you realize that they nearly went up and beat Penn State. So had to go to overtime, but that's what they're known for. You know, that was on the anniversary of the Michigan win, so it's I'm kind of surprised it didn't happen. It nearly did, but that just kind of shows what kind of program they have. But that's what they're known for.
Anything else? Coach, thank you.
All right.